Hey guys, Ominous here, and man do I have a fun deck for you today. This is a Probopass EX variant deck. I know a lot of people like to use Dialga EX with Probopass EX, but this deck uses Skarmory instead of Dialga. Instead of using Dialga to power up the Probopass, we're going to have Skarmory deal consistent damage to the opponent's Pokemon while we power up Probopass. I like this deck variant a lot more than the other one with Dialga EX, and you'll see in the gameplay it is very fun to use. I was able to win a lot of games with this deck and had a great time. So I end up going first on this one, and I draw a great hand. I put Skarmory in the active spot and Nosepass on the bench to start. End up drawing a Giovanni, which is alright. I put the Rocky Helmet onto my Skarmory, and I end my turn. Luck is on my side with that one, as they get no heads on that turn. Now I draw a Giant Cape. I'm going to attach that to my Nosepass. I'm then going to evolve Nosepass into Probopass. I'm going to attach a energy to Skarmory and have him attack that Moltres. Oof, another turn with Inferno Dance giving 0 heads. I feel bad for my opponent. Once it's my turn, I draw a Pokeball. I end up using it. I pull a Skarmory. I now decide to put an energy on my Probopass and have Skarmory attack that Moltres once again. Putting this Giant Cape on Moltres was a smart idea, so that way it wouldn't be in range of my Skarmory's attack next turn. Unfortunately, I do have a Giovanni in my hand, so I will be able to take it out next turn. He now goes for his third Inferno Dance, and will he get a heads? Hey, he finally gets one. Now it's my turn. I draw another Rocky Helmet, so decide to put Skarmory back on my bench. I put a Rocky Helmet on it, and now I feed Probopass the second energy. I'm going to play Giovanni, and I'm going to get rid of that Moltres EX. I think the reason my opponent here decides to use Slash instead is because if I decide to attack with this Skarmory next turn, that Rocky Helmet's going to take me out. But you know what? I decide to put the third energy on Probopass and attack with Skarmory. Deals the 50 damage. Yes, the Rocky Helmet takes out my Skarmory. That's fine. I'm going to place the other Skarmory up there. So that way, if Charizard attacks, it's going to deal 20 damage, putting it in 90 HP, which makes it in range for my Probopass the turn after. I think my opponent knows that if he attacks with Charizard, it would be in range for my Probopass, and I think that's why he does the switch here with Moltres EX. Either way, if I attack next turn with my Skarmory, that's going to deal 50 damage, put Moltres EX at 90, still within range of my Probopass. So, not really sure what they're planning here, but we'll see. Draw the potion, decide this is going to be just a quick turn, attach the energy to Skarmory, attack that Moltres EX, and let's see what my opponent decides to do. And he just goes for another Inferno Dance, which makes zero sense to me, because now I'll be able to switch my Skarmory out and put my Probopass in there, and get rid of that Moltres EX to win the game. Time to retreat that Skarmory into Probopass. Have Probopass attack, and see you later, Moltres EX, and that's game point, baby. Looks like I'm going first again on this one. I check my hand and it's pretty decent. I put that Skarmory in the active spot and wait my turn. I end up drawing a Giant Cape, which isn't terrible. I decide that I'm going to use the Professor's Research to draw 2 cards. I end up pulling another Professor's Research and a Nose Pass. The reason I don't put Nose Pass here on the bench is because he has a Hitmonlee, and Hitmonlee specifically attacks the bench. So I'm just going to add the Rocky Helmet to Skarmory and end my turn. Alright, my turn is up, and I draw my second Nose Pass, so I now decide, you know what, I'm just going to place both Nose Passes down on the bench. Going to use that Professor's Research to see what 2 cards I'll pull. End up pulling a Sabrina and a Cyrus, which is interesting here. Attach the energy to Skarmory, and I'm just going to let him attack that Hitmonlee. And this red card really stinks because I had a decent few cards in my hand. Luckily on my 3-card pull, I get 3 out of the 5 cards I had, and one of them was Probopass, which is great. End up drawing my second Skarmory. Here is where I decide to evolve the Nose Pass that's hurt. just because it only has 50 HP now, and I feel like it'd be susceptible to more Hitmonlee attacks, so I decided to put the Giant Cape on it as well, and I'm going to start feeding it energy. Skarmory will take care of that Hitmonlee. Honestly, I think the reason why my opponent decides to concede here is because he has no chance with that Skarmory to deal damage, and that Probopass will get rid of his whole team, so... And I'm finally going second here, so... I end up seeing the cards I drawn. Got the Skarmory, which is great. Always love starting off with Skarmory, putting Skarmory in the active spot, and getting ready for battle. My turn, I end up pulling a Sabrina, which could be handy. I got 2 Pokeballs, so I'm going to use them. First one gets me my second Skarmory, and my second Pokeball gets me my first Nose Pass. So here I decide to place Skarmory down onto the bench as well as Nose Pass. I'm going to attach an energy to my Skarmory and attack. Honestly, not sure what's going on here. I do not know why my opponent decides to use a Sabrina right now. So I just switched Skarmory with my other Skarmory. Alright, so there's a few moves I could do here. I get the Giant Cape, I attach it to Skarmory. I can either now use Sabrina to bring that Togepi in and attack it and get rid of that Togepi, or what I do here is I use the Giovanni to let me do 60 damage and get rid of that Sigilyph. And my opponent evolved that Togepi into a Togetic, which makes me look back at it and think I should have got rid of that Togepi, but that's completely fine. It's only dealing 40 damage, I'd be able to survive another turn, and I'm going to deal 70 damage because it's weak to Steel. Start powering up my Nose Pass. I almost used Professor's Research, but then I realized I'm going to use Adaman to help protect my Skarmory, so that way even if he evolves Togetic into Togekiss, I will still survive and I can get rid of that Togekiss next turn, or Togetic, whatever. I was right, he evolved him into Togekiss and attacks with Overdrive Smash where it only does 40 damage. The only way Skarmory would have lost is if he had a Cynthia in his hand. I have a great pull. I get Probopass, gonna evolve Nosepass into Probopass, attach a second energy on it. I now decide to use Professor's Research and get a two Rocky Helmets, put one on the other Skarmory, and now I put the second one onto Probopass. Not sure why, but I decided to attack with Skarmory. I think I should have retreated this Skarmory and used the other Skarmory to attack, and then if Togekiss attacked, the Rocky Helmet would have got rid of him, but whatever. It's my turn. I draw a potion. It's going to be a quick turn. Just attach the third energy on a Probopass, have Skarmory attack, and get rid of that Togekiss. My turn again. I draw a Probopass, doesn't matter. I decide to attach a second energy to Skarmory, have it retreat, have Probopass into the active spot, attack, and win the game.